Hey, what is going on, traders? Welcome to another video. This one is going to be about the PSP or precision swing point. So let's start with the introduction. So PSP or precision swing point is a quarterly theory concept which was taught by the trader Day, but I've never watched his video. I've learned this from the Garrett, now known as GXTrade, and I have watched his trade execution, and then I found the logic behind the PSP myself. In simpler terms, the PSP represent a divergence between two or more correlated assets. Like for example, we have the Euro USD and GBP USD as a correlated asset, NQES and YM, coal, XAU Euro, and XAU GBP. So we use the divergence between those correlated assets. Now, what is a PSP? The PSP represents the divergence between two or more correlated assets, where one of the asset prints different formation of a candle or different color of a candle at swing point. And PSP is the byproduct of strength and weakness. I'm gonna explain it to you. So we have, for example, this is the NQ chart and this is the ES. So what have we done? On the second candle of the swing point, we open, then went lower and then closed bullish. And on the other hand, on the ES, we open, then went higher, then went lower and closed here bearish. So this means the NQ, which is the stronger asset, printed a bullish candle because of its strength. And now the PSP confirms that for us, that the second candle on the swing point is bullish on the NQ, and on the ES it is like bearish. So now the NQ will go to the draw on liquidity much faster compared to the ES, and we will pick the NQ over ES. And now I will explain it to you in the next slide. So here we have the bullish PSP. When the overall bias is bullish and at a relevant level, one of the asset creates a different candle formation compared to the other. The stronger asset will print a bullish candle and the weaker asset will print the bearish candle. So that divergence signifies and confirms the PSP. So here we have the first asset and here we have the second asset. And this asset, the second candle of the swing point is bullish, so it means it closed into the highs, and now the third candle of the swing point will expand higher away from that. In comparison to that, on the second asset, what do we have? We closed bearish, so this means this asset closed weak, and now the new candle formation will start from here and it will slowly go towards that drawn liquidity. So that means when we have a bullish PSP and a bullish bias, so we will trade the asset which is printing that bullish candle because the probability of it going higher and faster is more in comparison to the weaker asset. Now we have a bearish PSP when the overall bias is bearish and one of the correlated asset is printing that bearish candle at the swing point or at the second candle of the swing point. And on the other asset, we are creating a bullish candle. On the NQ, we are stronger, but the overall bias is bearish. So what have we done? We printed a bullish candle and we closed into the highs. So when the new candle starts, it will open from here and going higher and then going lower. In comparison to that, on the ES, the second candle closed into weakness. Now the next candle will start from here and the ES will be having more probability to go lower and faster compared to the NQ, which is a stronger asset. And the PSP confirms that strength and weakness for us with this candle closures. When the second candle of the swing point is bearish in a bearish market, then we will trade and short that asset. Now SPSP, strength precision swing point or sweep precision swing point. So this is something I found myself or I haven't seen someone using it. So SPSP is actually sweep or strength precision swing point when on the same candle we are absorbing weakness and then turning it into a strength or weakness again. So here will be the example. So for example, this is the gold chart and this is the XA Euro. So on the gold, we have created a bullish SMT divergence. So this means the gold is a stronger asset. But as you can see at this candle, we have printed a bearish candle. The gold has created a bullish SMT divergence, but a bearish candle. On the other hand, for example, this is the XA Euro. What have we done? We were initially bearish because we took this low, created a bearish SMT divergence with the gold. But within this candle, the initial weakness turned into the strength. How do we know? Because first it took that low, it was weaker asset, but then immediately it closed bullish in comparison to the gold. So that initial weakness turned into a strength. So it absorbed the weakness and shifted it into the strength. So that is the SPSP or sweep PSP or strength PSP. So this means despite of the bearish SMT divergence, this asset has now created a bullish swing point, and now the probability of it going higher is more in comparison to the gold because despite of the weakness, it turned into strength in the last. And same will be applied to the bearish example. Absorption of weakness turning into strength, or absorption of strength turning into weakness in a bearish example when this asset is printing that bullish candle. So this means the initial weakness is now absorbed into strength and we can long the third or fourth candle higher. So this was the SPSP. Now we will talk about the two-stage PSP. So the two-stage PSP is where PSP is aligned with the SMT divergence at the candle third or the candle second of the swing point. So it makes perfect strength, and I'm gonna explain it to you why PSP confirms SMT. So I'm gonna go into the slides. So here we have the two-stage PSP. So on this asset, on the second candle of the swing point, we have printed a bullish candle. We open low, high, close, and this candle is a bullish candle. The third candle will open from its closing price and it will go higher and faster as I taught you in the previous lesson. But here we have another thing. We will be having SMT divergence at the candle third. Why? Because on the correlated asset, when we printed a bullish candle here, we printed a bearish candle on the correlated asset. So it means it was a weaker candle. It opened high, low, close instead of open, low, high, close. So now the new candle will start from here. So it doesn't make sense to leave this filler swing and go higher. So the next candle will take the second candle's low and then go higher. So that is why the PSP confirms SMT because of the weakness in the second asset. We have printed a bearish candle. We are near the lows. So the next candle is going to create its wick with this empty divergence. And the third candle, we were already bullish. It will not reach that low. So this PSP, the second candle of the swing point, confirms the SMT divergence because the bullish candle will not take that low and the bearish candle will take that low. Now here is another form of two-stage PSP. So in this case, we have SMT divergence between the candle 1 and candle 2nd of the swing point. So for example, we are in a bullish market. The second candle of the swing point was bearish. We took the previous candle low, but on the stronger asset, we haven't taken the previous candle low, and we created SMT divergence, a manipulation with SMT, and we are going higher. So this is the two-stage PSP at candle 1 and candle 2. The asset 1 created SMT divergence with the candle 1 taking its low and then going higher, and on the other asset we haven't taken the candle 1 low and we have created SMT divergence instead, and we also have closed bullish, so it is gonna go higher and faster towards the drawn liquidity. So that is it for the slides. Now we will hop into the trading view and go over some examples. So here we are on the trading view. So I'm gonna show you the indicator which I built for the precision swing point. So you can search the PSP by 11 traders. I'm gonna release this after this video. So we have the one asset which it picks automatically the asset VR, and you can choose the second correlated asset and the first correlated asset. So for the goal, I have selected the XA Euro and XAU GBP. Now here is the second settings in which you can like change the display mode. You can do it to the dots, which will show the dots as the PSPs, and you can do it to the color, which will change the candle color. So it signifies that this is a PSP on the other asset at close bearish. This is used for that. Now we will make it back to the dot, and here we have show PSPs for the last X days. So you can do it to the 25 if you are on the daily chart. You can do it to the 1 day, which will filter the PSPs within that 24 hours. You can do it to the 2 days, which will filter the PSP within the last 2 days. So this is for showing the PSP in last X days, and this is the size of that dot. You can do it to the 12 or 15 or something. It will make it bigger. And this is reverse the dot position. So we have a bearish candle right here. The dot is shown on the bottom of it. If I reverse the dot position, it will make the dot go higher and the bullish dot make lower. So you can use it for bearish and bullish buys. Like for example, I have a bearish PSP, so I make the reverse dot position. It will make it to the lows. So this is the free indicator. I'm going to release this after the video. Now let's hop into the examples. So here we are on the GC and XAUGP daily chart, and the indicator automatically plot PSV for me. So what have we done here? we opened and then went lower deep and printed a bearish candle. On the other hand, on the XAUGBP, we had a shallow run below the previous candle's low, and we printed a different color or a bullish candle. So this is now that PSP, and the indicator plots it for me. And the XAUGBP, it shows that it is green, a bullish PSP, and on the GC it shows a red, like a weaker asset. So now as you can see on the third and fourth candle, we expanded right away from that PSP. So this is a protected and a high probability swing point. As you can see, the XUGBP had a strength because on the fourth candle, it didn't even print a wick and straight expanded away from the open, which shows that strength. So this PSP confirmed that swing point for us and the strength and weakness between the asset. The asset which was weaker printed a bearish candle, which caused the bearish PSP, and the asset which was stronger and printed a bullish candle, which caused that bullish PSP, and it went higher. So this was the first example with the indicator. Now we will go into another example. Now here we are with the second example. I am on the NQ and YM daily chart. So we are going to change the indicator setting. We'll use the ES as the first asset, and then YM is a secondary asset. And we will do the same to the YM. We will choose the NQ, the first asset, and then the ES is the second asset, and it will plot the PSPs automatically. So as you can see here, we have the PSPs. We printed the Tuesday 14th of October candle bearish on the NQ, and we were bullish on the YM. So it plotted automatically that PSP for us, and we can change the dot position, reverse it, so it will show it on the lower side. So we have a bullish PSP on the YM. It means the NQ opened, then closed into the weakness. As you can see, it went lower but failed to close above its opening price, and it printed a bearish candle. And on the other hand, on the YM, we opened, went lower, but we went above the opening price and printed a bullish candle, which indicated that strength. And as you can see in the third candle, we had a strength. We almost reached this candle high, and on the NQ, we failed to do that. So that means this PSP confirmed the strength on YM, and the YM went higher on that third day, reaching this candle's high, which we didn't on the NQ. So that PSP confirms strength and weakness for you, and it is a high probability swing point. When we are printing the second candle of the swing point as a PSP, so it is confirming the expansion within the third candle. So these were the examples on the daily chart. Now we will go into the lower time frame and how you can use it for entries. So hopping into another example. So here we are with our first lower time frame example. We are on the NQ and ES 1 hour chart. So as you can see, we are in a bullish expansion. The previous day had a change in the straight up delivery, and this is that kind of third of the swing point. We have created a low of the day, and now we are expanding higher. The least objective will be this previous day high. We have our bullish bias on our side, and now we will look for the PSPs and swing point to trade it in that direction. So my indicator automatically plots PSP for us. So we have bearish PSP 2 candles on the NQ, and on the ES, as you can see, we have printed bullish candles. This candle was an open low high close, open low high close, and we have a two-stage SMT divergence. This candle low is taken by the NQ, and on the ES we are creating an SMT divergence at this candle low, as well as we are printing bullish candle. So we have two-stage PSP confirmed with the SMT divergence. SMT combined with the PSP is actually two-stage PSP. So now we have bullish candle on the ES, and on the NQ we have printed a bearish candle. So it means the ES is a stronger asset, and it is gonna go to the Toronto liquidity much faster. And I'm gonna make the indicator settings here. I'm gonna make it visibility only to the hours. So I'm gonna remove the minutes and the seconds. So that way it will show the PSPs on the hourly chart, because it will make noise on the 5-minute chart. So here I've done these settings, and now we'll drop down to the 5-minute chart. So here we are on the 5-minute chart. As you can see on the right side in the indicator, we have printed bearish candles, and it's kind of consolidating. We are kind of bullish and printed that bullish candles, and we have SMT divergence at the second candle of the swing point with the NQ. So that's great. That's two-stage PSP. So this is our change in the straight up delivery. If I'm entering right here, this will also give me an entry at the retest, putting my stop loss below the bodies and targeting 2R. What I can do is we have a continuation order block forming within the 8 AM candle. So I'm going to enter the next candle. putting my stop loss below the body low or the wick low, and then targeting 2R again. So now let's play the price action. And as you can see, within the next few minutes, we expanded higher, completing our objective. Both of the trades, which was executed on the third candle and on the second candle. So the PSP confirms our divergence and a high probability swing point, and we trade away from that. And you can use the indicator to plot it for you automatically. So here we have that indicator. A bullish PSP is showing right here, and a bearish PSP are shown with the dots on with the indicator. So you can use the indicator for that purpose. Now we will go over another example. Now, as you can see, the YM was the strongest, the NQ was the weakest asset, and the ES was the metal asset, but it is still stronger than the NQ. And as you can see, you can find the strength and weakness by the number of dots. Like for example, we have more bullish dots right here, and this is a stronger asset. In comparison to that, we have like very bearish candle in comparison to the ES, so this is the weaker asset. It can also be confirmed by the indicator. And what do we have here? We have a bearish candle which printed that bearish PSP with the indicator pointing a dot below this candle's low, and we have printed a bullish candle, but we also have an SMT divergence. As you can see, this candle low is taken by the NQ, and on the ES we are creating SMT divergence. So now the PSP is backed by SMT divergence, which makes it a two-stage PSP. And now we have a candle 2 of the swing point, printed bullish and printed bearish on the NQ. So now we will drop down to the 5-minute chart and see if you can find entry within that. Now here we are on the 5-minute chart. So we will find entry after the 930. So now this is 950. Here is another form of strength. You can see we were bullish on the ES because of those PSPs. And as you can see here, we have this bunch of price action lower. We are not closing above these candles on the NQ. And as you can see, we are closing above this on the ES. So this also means a strength. And if you enter on the next candle, putting our stop loss below the bodies and targeting strictly 2R. And as you can see, the price straightly expanded higher, completing our objective. And that PSP candle, you can see the NQ failed to close above the opening price, which caused that PSP, and the ES closed above that opening price, which caused that bullish PSP and bullish candle, and went higher in comparison to the NQ. So here we are with another example. In this one, I'm going to explain it to you. The SPSP, the sweep PSP, or strength PSP, whatever you call it. So on the hourly chart, you can see we have SMT divergence with the XAUGBP on the right side. So we have bullish SMT divergence with the XAUGBP, a confirmed low of the day, supported by an SMT divergence. As we move into the newer session, as you can see right at the 8 AM open, what have we done? On the gold, we have not taken the previous candle low. We created a bullish SMT divergence, but as you can see, the candle closure was bearish. So it means initially the gold was the stronger asset, but it turned into weakness, which was confirmed by this candle closure. And on the other hand, if you go to the XAUGBP, what have we done? We opened, then went lower, created a bearish SMT divergence, but what have we done? We created a bearish SMT divergence and we turned that weakness into a strength. How do we know? Because this candle was printed bullish. And now we can see the third candle is expansion higher. And as you can see by the comparison of the draw on liquidity, the XAUGBP is gonna go much higher and faster compared to the gold. And the gold now turned into a weaker asset despite of the SMT divergence. So this is what I call the SPSP, sweep or strength PSP. Initial weakness turned into strength within that same candle. So now we will drop down to the 5-minute chart. So now here on the 5-minute chart, as you can see with that SMT divergence and that PSP, you can see this is a bearish candle and this is a bullish candle. So now what can we do? We are not closing above the consecutive series up candle, but we do have a fair value gap in the price section, which can be utilized as a point of interest. And we have a closure above that. So if the PSP is true and if the price is expanding higher, it should start expanding from the next candle. So I'm going to put my stop loss below the wick and I'm going to target 2R and we will see what the next candle do. And as you can see, the next candle expanded higher, completing our objective much faster to that draw on liquidity in comparison to the goal. As you can see, we will let this play. And that was the place where the market reversed because that was the previous day high and it went to our target. immediately without even creating a wick. It expanded higher, completing our objective by reaching that high. So this was the example of the SPSP. I'm gonna wrap up my video here. Hope you guys have learned something from this. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video, and see you in next week.